This work, created by Francis Bacon, titled Painting, was created in 1946 and is approximately 6 feet and 5 inches tall by 5 feet and 2 inches wide. The medium of this work is oil and pastel on linen. The work was created following World War II and can be found in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Francis Bacon described the process of creation to have taken on a life of its own. He describes the configurations forming without his intention. This work had previously been intended to depict at first a chimpanzee in tall grass and then a bird of prey landing within a field, neither of which are visible within the work. This work contains many cryptic images such as an unidentifiable subject where only the bottom half of his face can be seen. The subject is also half obscured by an umbrella. The subject is surrounded by a splayed cow carcass and what appears to be a witness stand, followed by a dramatic contrast and interesting shapes and patterns throughout the work. The subject within the middle of the work is wearing a dark suit and a bright yellow boutonniere. This work gives the viewer a sense of feeling of menace by the dark hues and style in which the two figures are portrayed, both the one in the foreground and the one in the background. The body position of the figure in the foreground is very calm and relaxed. He is sitting on a darkly colored chair with his arms folded in his lap and his legs crossed. In the background, the second figure, directly behind the figure with the severed head, is very unique as well. The second figure appears to be the remains of a cow. This work incorporates many different themes such as man, animal, and the merging of both together. This work instills mystery and awe within the viewer, as well as instilling curiosity as well as discomfort. This work is titled Study for Portrait Number 7. It was created in 1953 and is approximately 26 inches tall by 22 inches wide. The medium of this work is oil on canvas. Within this work, we are able to see the shoulders and head of an unidentifiable male subject who is wearing glasses, a white shirt, a suit, and a tie. This work has also been referred to as businessman. The subject in the work appears to be screaming directly at the viewer. The viewer's mouth is open very widely, exposing the subject's teeth. The subject's head is blurred and faint, with the subject also surrounded by the dark chalk-like background. In the background of the work, we can see blue curtains hung below from a pink rail, shown at eye level. Also in the portrait, we can see lines of white, blue, and red that are angled in a way that frames the central figure. In this work, we can see the heavy emphasis that was put on texture, especially within the subject's mouth and eyes. This work, titled Triptych, was created in 1991 and contains 3 panels. Each individual panel is approximately 78 inches tall by 58 inches wide. The medium of this work is oil on linen. This work contains abstract images of 3 figures. In the first panel, we can see a man's face as well as a torso and 2 legs. Surrounding this image is a deep black box in the first upper half of the work. Around the black box is a taupe foreground. The man's leg in the first panel seems to be stepping out from the black box area and stepping into the taupe background. In the second panel, we can see another abstract image of what appears to be body parts of a figure, including feet, legs, and arms. The figure in the second box also seems to be pouring out from the black box and into the foreground. In the final panel, we can see the legs of a subject followed by the portrait of a man's head. The figure in the final panel also appears to be stepping out from the black background into the foreground. Something I found unique about this portrait is the symmetry and balance of this work. In the first panel, the area behind the portrait of the man's head blends into the dark background, whereas in the second panel there is not an identifiable face of a man, but rather a collage of jumbled body parts. However, in the last panel, the area behind the portrait of the man's head is the exact taupe color of the foreground. This abstract quality of this particular work gives me a feeling of curiosity and interest. This work is titled The Study for Portrait Number 4. This work was created in 1956 and is approximately 24 inches tall by 20 inches wide, and the medium of this work is oil on canvas. In this portrait, we can see a man who appears to have a diaphanous scarf over his head, and the figure appears to be asleep. The figure also appears to be wearing a darkly colored suit, which is difficult to see against the pitch black background. The composition of this work contains much contrast and texture. There are many parallel lines within the subject's face which are created by gray and blue shadow on the lower area of the man's face. There are lighter shades of lavender, pale yellow, and rose beginning at the subject's eyes and rising up from the dome of the figure's bald head. The flesh tone of this figure is achieved by mixing a variety of colors such as pink, green, yellow, blue, white, and purple. The area that is most highlighted in this work is the subject's nose as well as the subject's closed eyes. The feeling that this portrait gives off is of someone who is trying to remove himself from society and who is searching for inner peace. This work, titled The Study of Heads, was created in 1962. This work consists of 3 panels, and each panel is approximately 14 inches tall by 12 inches wide. The medium of this work is oil on canvas. This work contains 3 portraits of the same person from the neck up. Each panel demonstrates the figure experienced different moods at different times of his life. The panel portrays an image of a male figure who appears to be gazing determinedly into the future. The second panel portrays an image of the same man who appears to be small, sad, and defeated. The final panel portrays an image of the same man who is the largest out of the other 2 panels and appears to be angry and aggressive. This work contains a lot of abstract, stylistic features as well as texture. There is also much contrast within this work. The solid black background emphasizes the 3 heads shown within each of the panels. The flesh tones of each of these subjects consists of light shades in the color of white and pink, with the highlight of turquoise, blue, and red. The feeling that I get from this work is a sense of anxiety because of the vastly different emotions portrayed as well as the pitch black background.